Good evening, or good morning, or good night, wherever you are around this wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur. This is THFC Till I Die with a Friday night show, which we're going to be discussing all the transfer rumours, such as they are, and any other Tottenham news that we can come up with. And I'm delighted to be joined tonight, for the first time, with the latest member of the THFC Till I Die family. It's Boris from Yorkshire, and this is my first show with Boris. I'm really looking forward to it. So, welcome to the family, Boris, and how are you?
Not too bad, Bill. Not too bad at all. It's great to be here with you, and it's great to be here in the part of the THFC Till I Die so much.
Good stuff, great stuff. And before we get started, we're on the march to 2,000 subscribers. So please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us to get those numbers up, and it helps us in our battle with YouTube at the minute to get remonetized. They stopped our monetization for some reason that they haven't even bothered to tell us about, and we're trying to get it back. So every subscriber we get will be a big help towards that. So, right, just before we get into the Dermot is actually having a night off tonight, but I have a feeling he's skulking around in the back there, fiddling with his things to get the PDFs up and whatever. So thanks, Dermot, for that. And here we go with the first one up is from Tequila, who's having a night off tonight. It's saying, big up Boris the Brit. Boris the Brit, there you are. And Big Phil. How are you, Tequila? And this one is from Dermot himself, I think. It says, big up, guys. Have a great show. As always, come on, you Spurs. Yeah, I mean, we're getting close now. What are we now? We're 8 days away from the start of the season, but we're not going to worry about that. That's only Arsenal that's starting it. Our season starts in 11 days' time against Leicester away, so that's the one we're really aiming at. And Tequila is saying, I've offered to take Richie to the airport using a horse and carriage. He still said no. He'd done everything he could. Yeah, I know. We'll come to that in a while. There's a development in the Richie story, and it'll be positive for some people and negative for others, I think. And THC Dermot again is saying fair play, Tequila. And Tequila saying it's Thursday, Phil. Bless. Right, fair enough. Right, now, as we were saying... Yeah. Anyway, we were just talking before the show came on about the transfer window and how sort of quiet it's been, really. Most clubs haven't really done a lot of business for whatever reason. And every day we get up and we think, oh, Tottenham are going to do it today. But nothing's really happening at the moment, and it is getting a little bit frustrating. But Dermot, you are going to magically introduce a PDF there now that's going to start us off talking about the transfers as they are at the moment. And this is what we alluded to earlier with Tequila's post. Richarlison has revealed that he's refused a bid from Saudi. There has been an offer from Saudi, but my dream of playing for the Brazilian selection, I presume that is, and in the Premier League speaks louder. Boris, what do you reckon? Should he go? Should he stay? What should we do with Richarlison?
Honestly, I don't really think you can do much with him because I'm pretty sure he still has, 2-3 years left on his contract anyway, since we can't force him out of the club without. And yes, we do want the money, of course. We wouldn't if we're getting offers for 16 mil, but we've also got to think about the player as well. If they don't want to go, we can't do anything to force them out, essentially. Like, at the end of the day, it's their choice in regards to that. I'm not saying I'd be happy with him staying or going. I'm fine with him staying as long as he can improve on the purple patch he had last season and continue that sort of form, building it up. And you never know, might get 15 to 20 goals this season because he got, 12 in all competitions last season. So I feel like it's well with that. Another point is as well, like we saw with Richarlison turning it down, like the Al Hilal fans, what Richarlison was a club Richarlison was looked at by in Saudi Arabia. They seem to actually hate him as well, and not wanted him to go there at the club. So
I saw that. I saw that.
A lot of abuse just because of that.
Thing about it is, I know he stepped up last season when we needed him, and he scored some very vital goals for us. But I think as Dermot may have alluded to in earlier programs, Richarlison was a big fish in a smallish pond at Everton. He was the big man there, and that's what got him his transfer. He hasn't really replicated it at Tottenham. Now, I know he's had his issues with injury and mental issues and what have you. He seems to have overcome them now. But correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he featured in pre-season over in Japan and Korea. I know I saw him on the pitch. I don't think he actually played, which leads me to believe, is he fit? Is he fit? Because...
Yeah, you're right there. From what sounds like, he wasn't fit during that, so I think he picked up like an injury maybe in pre-season. But you saw, like you said, he came back earlier off his holidays and stuff like that to do like training and get himself prepared. So I think he probably got himself injured there. But from what reports had said, I think of what I also heard Ange say, he was being back in training for a bit now, anyways, and he's been training with the first team as well.
Right. Oh, well, that's okay because, like, I mean, we're now what? Let 10 days away, 11 days away from the start of the season. At this stage, you've got to wonder whether we're going to have a new striker in our shirt, in the shirt by then. And if so, if we don't, then he's going to be needed to start against Leicester, you know. Now, on just talking about players coming back, they're all back now. I think Romero, Bentancur, and Lo Celso, I think, came back in yesterday or the day before. I see Mickey van der Ven is back, and I think that's them all back now. So the training videos were shown on Spurs TV there yesterday. So they're all back. No, everybody's fit. That's another thing that's good at the moment. I think Destiny Udogie was a little bit under the weather, but I think he has recovered pretty much to be fit to play against Leicester. And then again, we've got a little matter of Saturday evening of a friendly against Bayern Munich, where we owed them one for beating us last week. So that's going to be a good one. What do you reckon? What's the thinking, though, playing the same team twice in a week? I just can't figure that out, unless it's financial. What do you reckon, Boris?
I would say maybe not. I don't think we might start Son this one because I think the reason why we started Son has been starting Son because we've been part of the Asia tour mainly recently.
Yeah.
Because
probably in the contract. It was probably in the contract. Son has to play. Yeah,
exactly. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kulu as playing as a false nine yet again because he does really well in that position from the looks of it. He plays that position amazingly in the Ange system.
He does. And there's Chris having a comment about Richarlison. He said, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chris. Hoping Richie throwing everything into this season. He has to on no Brazil selection. That's it. I mean, there's a lot of competition for the number 9 in Brazil. He's not taking the money and running. A good sign. Wish him well. He always puts a shift in." Well, that's true. He does put a shift in. You've got to give him that. And he does seem committed to the club.
The first season, he looks like he was throwing his toys out of the pram at the start of the first season. You can't deny that. Like when he was getting played, when Andrew was playing him at the start of his season and stuff like that, it looks like he was throwing out. He was like slamming on the ground and stuff like that if he wasn't missing, which is good because you see that hunger and stuff like that, but it also looks a bit childish at the same time, doesn't it? So I feel like he has gotten over that patch. But
you know what also he looks like? If you have to be brutally honest, he's a miserable bugger. He never smiles. Very rarely smiles. He's always got this sort of scowl on his face, even when he scores. But that's just his way, you know. But anyway, let's hoping that if he's staying, he's good. And now we're moving on to the elephant in the room. What about a new striker? So here's the latest news from Give Me Sport. Tottenham remain interested in Ivan Toney, despite also having Bournemouth frontman Dominic Solanke on the list of potential recruits. Brentford are open to sanctioning the international departure after entering the final year of his contract. Like, it's in a way, Toney is a more obvious choice for the simple reason: if Brentford don't sell him now, they're going to get nothing for him. They might get a really reduced price in January and nothing at all next July. So if Solanke, I think, has got a longer contract. So now I'm going to put a gun to your head now, Boris. Of the two of those, who do you want? Presuming they're the only two that are going to come in.
For me, like I've always said this in all of the streams I've been in with I see Solanke as a better option.
Mm-hmm.
For me, essentially, because he's younger. From what it looks like, he doesn't have any issues off the pitch. From what it seems like, he seems like he enjoys football, and that doesn't look like he's going to end up staring drama easily. Like we don't have the big risk of the gambling coming to light because look what's happened recently with gambling in the Premier League. Tonali, Tony, obviously, and then what's is it the West Ham player or the Villa player?
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah, he could get done for life actually because he actually took bets on getting him booked in certain matches.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a very serious offence, apparently.
Yeah, from what it looks like, I don't want that sort of thing to happen, and it seems like we aren't going to be, and we don't seem to be getting that sort of issue with Solanke because Solanke just seems to enjoy football as well as being 2 years younger and stuff like that. I'd say the only downside to Solanke is he's had one great season in the Premier League, not his best season ever, because like when Bournemouth won the Championship, he was getting double digits each season when he was in there as well. But just the only downside is from what people seen, it's because he's only had one good season this year in the Premier League. But it's the same sort of system what Ange plays. That's the thing.
That's it. Yeah, he fits the system. Now, the thing I'll say about Tony, it is rumored. Now I'm going to use the word rumor. There's no proof about this. Is that Arteta from Arsenal? Do you remember the Arsenal? You know who they are. Is supposed to have had a chat with Tony about possible move to Arsenal, and he backed away. Now, whether he didn't like what he heard or whether it was an attitude problem or something, but if that is the case, then I'd be a bit worried. I take the fact Solanke is 2 years younger, and that fits the profile given the players we've been buying lately. They're all young lads, and there's the stats. I mean, the stats. Tony has the better stats. There's no doubt about it. He's ahead on practically every. In fact, he is ahead on every one of them there. Not by much now, but he's ahead. Now, that's based on 90 minutes on the games he played last season. Now, Tony did not play a full season for obvious reasons. And he only scored 4 goals, I think, whereas Solanke scored 21, I think it was. So,
19 in the Premier League, I think 21 in total.
21 in total, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good return. Anyone that hits 20 goals in a season in all competitions is a good return. So, like going down that, like shots 2.73 against 2.53. Shot creating actions 2.45, 2.31. Shots on target just under 1 against 0.83. Expected goals 0.44 against 0.39. Same on the goals almost, except Solanke's is less 0.3. And assists nearly the same. So not a huge amount to choose between them. I think it's down to those two, unless another English striker that we haven't even thought of comes out of the woodwork. But we cannot afford to buy any more foreign players.
Because the only English player
you have to buy English this time. You have to buy English.
The only one I think's at a top level who's English is Tammy Abraham at Roma.
Yeah, and I think I don't know.
And I don't see, because but it's just the Italian play style. I don't see him adapting to the end system where it's just speed.
Yeah. No, I think it's like if we don't get Tony or Solanke, then it's going to put a lot of pressure on Richarlison, as we talked about. But I think what it's also going to do, and this might be the making of the lad, is Will Lancashire will probably become a squad member, because that guy knows what the goal is. I mean, one of our young bloods coming up.
Forgetting Dane Scarlett as well.
Dane Scarlett, yeah, but I'm just thinking Lancashire seems to have come through the pack very quickly there. I mean, the future for our young players looks very, very bright. I mean, we'll mention Mikey Moore later on. I've got a thing about him, but I think Lancashire will be hoping we don't sign the striker, because that means he'll probably get, along with Scarlett, he'll get more game time this season. But there you go. I mean, I'm going to put my nail again. I'm torn. As I said last night, I think Solanke is the one, but I do have reservations about him.
Yeah,
I'd probably have slightly more reservations about Tony, A, because of his age, B, because of his history, and B, because if he has got an attitude or a bit of an ego thing, we don't want that. We don't want someone coming in and wrecking the dressing.
Another thing as well is, do you like with the goal that says 0.44 for Tony, doesn't it? How many of those have been penalties as well?
Well, that's the thing. That's another thing. Yeah.
Whereas Solanke's, from what I've seen of him, most of them aren't penalties. They're actual working into like the box, what it seems Ange wants, and taking on defenders. Yeah,
that's true. That's very true. That's very true. And just go back to the chat. I don't know where we ended up with the chat there. Now, by the way, Boris, this is there's an initiation ceremony on THFC Till I Die, right? You have to do the good evening from Wayne Bonner's post. So I'll leave it to you. You can read that.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, amigos. Hope you're all well and enjoying the transfer window. Laughing face.
Yeah, you passed.
All right, cheers.
Well done. Yeah. Stephen Cartwright is saying, hi, Stephen. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all okay. Yeah, we're great. Actually, doesn't the championship starts tomorrow, doesn't it? Or not tomorrow, on Saturday. It's Friday or Saturday. Yeah, this is great. I love the championship. There's some great games in that. It really is.
Well, it's not even just that. I think Sky as well starting to stream the championship matches, and if you bought like the Premier League access, it gives you it for free.
I think so. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That'll be good. There's a message from Tequila to Wayne, so I'll leave that one too. Yeah. Liston Hines, that's a new name. Welcome, Liston. I don't blame Richie for not wanting to go to Saudi. I wouldn't want to go there either. And the abuse Richie has gotten from the Al Ahly fans on social media doesn't help either. I would say that could have had probably a percentage vote of in his decision in doing that, because there has been other players who've gone out there and have expressed their unwillingness to stay. Jordan Henderson being one of them. And a lot of wives. I think a lot of the wives of the fat players going out there. I mean, that you're going into literally. I don't want to get political about it, but you're going into an area where women do not have the same rights as men. And what you can do over here, you can't do over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even just that as well. It's like the Saudi fans, they all expect the best of the best, like Ronaldo, Benzema, Firmino, like all top class, world class sort of strikers. What have gone over there now?
Exactly. And there's this big splurge of Saudi money coming into the Premiership hasn't happened yet, which has probably had a big effect on the way the transfer market has gone. Players are waiting to be approached by Saudi, or clubs are waiting to be approached. It hasn't happened. And I think it was a very clever ploy by the Saudis to put this out before the season.
Yeah,
they have no intention of spending that money, but they're trying to drive down the prices, you know?
Yeah, the only Saudi deal I've heard of this entire window has been the one which just happened, Richarlison with Al Hilal.
Yeah. There may have been some minor players went from the continent to it, but I haven't really heard of any big names, you know? So Ronaldo certainly wasn't the big draw there they thought he'd be. Okay, I know he brought in some players. Like N'Golo Kante now was one I was surprised went there, but he went. And I don't think he's too happy there either. So anyway, we'll keep on with the comments. Chris is another good comment here. He's saying, good morning, everyone. Hope Richie, hoping Richie throwing everything in this season. He has to know Brazil selection. I think we read this one already, actually. We did all right. Yeah, but we've read that one already. Sorry, my apologies. And now, what's the point, FC? The season is cancelled for me when it rains at Port. I've lost interest now. Just now to chat with my brothers and all. I don't give up. I mean, we still have, what day are we now? There's 22 days of the transfer window left. There will be incomings from Tottenham, I have no doubt. There will be outgoings. So I'll tell you what you do. Come back here at 11 o'clock on transfer window night and see if you've still got the same impression. And if you have, fair dues. You know, we'll probably agree with you. But I think there will be positive additions to the Tottenham squad by the time the transfer window closes in 3 weeks' time. Check them. Oh, hang on. I think I'm going to get worried here. There's something going on between Tequila and Wayne Bonner. I'm sending each other private messages here. Anyway, Wire Sly. That's another new name. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, welcome to.
Yeah, if Richie stays, I reckon we're going to only sign one forward, either a striker or a winger. For me, I want both striker and a winger. Yeah, well, I think we definitely need a striker. And I was going to say we need a fullback. But from what I'm reading, it looks like Jed Spence has played himself back into favour again. Like, I have to say, I was very, very, very impressed with him on the preseason. I think the guy has realised he's used up 8 of his 9 lives, and I think he's realised that this is where his future lies. And I think Ange's agreeing with him. So I don't think we need another fullback if he stays. Now, a striker and a winger, we've got a lot of wingers you think of it. We've got Johnson, we've got Sonny, you could class him as a winger. We've got Werner, we've a load of them like that. So I don't know. I'll back Ange. If Ange has a shopping list, I will go along with it and what he wants.
Yeah, well,
whoever he brings in, we're going to back him to the hill.
Not even just that. I think reports have also been said is that we are still looking at a marquee winger. Yeah, so that could either be Neto or Eze from
Neto. I prefer Neto to Eze, to be honest.
Yeah, I do as well. Like, considering we don't really need another number 10 to cover as well, because we've got Maddison, we've got Kula, we've got Bergval, we've got.
I'm gonna make a prediction here, and this may sound completely off the wall, but I think Bergval is going to start ahead of Maddison against Leicester. I think that guy was a revelation out in the guy has no fear. He has no fear. And I know it'd be kicking the teeth for Maddison not to play against his former club. I just get this feeling Bergval is going to live up to the hype that came with him. I think he's an excellent player. We'll see.
Swedish talent just behind what Kula was.
That's right. And apparently himself and Kula are like that, you know. So
yeah, well, they did come from the same starting club, didn't they?
They're good for each other. They're good for each other, you know. And what I like about Bergvall, apparently before he moved over at all, his family bought a property close to the Spurs training ground. So he's properly grounded. He's not staying in a hotel like other young lads can go, maybe get led astray, the nightlife and what have you. He's got a good grounding, you know.
Yeah.
And then Tequila saying, big up, what's the point, Ev? I understand you're feeling that way. Yeah, listen, we do. We understand totally how you feel. But just give it more time. Give it a bit more time. If it doesn't happen, then we'll all join your frustration.
I know we all sound like a broken record, me and you saying give it more time, because like we do see that it does take time to get signed into, and we do see like it does anger some fans, but at the end of the day, we do have to give it time.
Yeah, that's it. And just regarding a comment, another thing, apparently we've got a clean bill of health fitness wise as well. Destiny Odogi or Doji, I don't know how you pronounce that, is it Odogi or Odoji? Was injured, but apparently he's fit. Yeah, I think so. He's fit now. And here we have Liston saying most of our squad seems fit at the moment. Let's hope it stays that way. Man United already has 8 to 9 players out before a ball has even been
kicked. It's not even just that. Their star centre-back signings already out for like 3 months.
What is Ten Hag doing to them up there? You know,
I think he's having the goalkeepers just bash into the centre-back's legs and making sure they break or something.
That makes a change. Normally, his goalkeeper just punch the lights out and play him.
Yeah, that's true.
Against Wolves.
No, I think they only do that if it's a Wolves player.
Yeah. But going back to Neto, I think Neto will be a huge addition to our squad.
Yeah,
if he got him. He really would, you know. And here's Tequila making his comments. Tony over Wolanke. Ooh, easy choice. Yeah, okay, we'll see. But Tequila, I hope if Solanke does come, right, and he scores 25 goals at the end of the season, you might retract that comment.
Well, it's not even just that. The amount of anime edits what are probably going to come out with Solanke celebrations and all that from the admins of the Tottenham Hotspur social media.
Yeah, that's it. Tequila is saying, Lucas, yes, indeed. And Tequila saying, Boris, doing well, mate. You are, well, yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Tequila.
Cheers, Tequila.
Chris again. Andrew, good claims in interview with Angela. It's a PL experienced striker is what's wanted. Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah, well, that could be both in that sense, though. Premier League experience, that could be Tony and Solanke, really.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, that would be. I can't see it happening because whoever signs first, the second one's going to say, "I'm not going there to sit on the bench," you know.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. And this is my comment to my Arteta comment. Tequila said, I heard Arteta was annoyed Tony didn't give him any bet. Yeah, bugger, yeah. I thought that was a serious comment for a minute.
Arteta to be banned because apparently Tony was an Arsenal fan as a kid.
Yeah, so I believe, so I believe. And this is Tequila again. Hang on, let me get this one up. Oh, sorry, DJ Samuel. Oops, what have I done? I think I'm after jumping ahead of things here. Sorry. Sorry about this.
All right.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. There's a load of comments from. So where if these are all come out of? I've lost the one that they wanted to.
It's to give me 5 minutes. It's just below the I had Arteta was annoyed at Tony.
Yeah, but it's strange. Let's see now. Yeah, I see that my computer. I have a very strange computer here, and it seems to jump ahead of things. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, this is here. Give me 5 minutes, guys. I've got Andy Booth on speed dial. He's English and cheaper. Yeah, and I say he's also probably in a wheelchair at this stage as well. Andy Booth, no offense, was probably the worst striker Spurs ever signed. He's even worse than Gregor Raziak. If you remember, you probably don't remember him. Nobody does. But anyway, keep going now. Chris again has to. Isaac, Isaac will be a brilliant signing, but unfortunately he's not English, so that would be rule that one out. Plus, he'd be way too expensive, I think.
Yeah, it'd be over 100 million minimum.
It'd be the best part of, yeah. And Dermot is rooting for Tony. Full Time Sports Network is rooting for Tony. Tequila's going for Tony. Tequila's also not sure Richie is a big name either. Well, he's big enough.
I think that was for in regards to the Saudi situation.
Yeah, but Brazilian international, he's big enough, I think. And This is Tequila's also saying we need a left back to cover for Destiny. I'm not sure if Jed Spence can play both sides. I'm not quite sure. He probably can't.
From what I saw of him, he can't. Like when me and Tequila were doing the watch along for the friends, like it doesn't look. He looks like how he was out of his depth on the left.
Yeah, he's probably a right footer. Yeah, no, he's probably needed. So in that case, I'll take it back. We probably do need a second.
Everybody seems to forget with the main player we've had starting as left back the entire pre-season, Donnelly.
That's not even his proper position. You know?
He's a central midfielder, but he's an inverted wing-back role, isn't it? What Ange plays, so he's essentially an extra midfielder.
He's done well, you know. And Tequila's nailing his colours to the mast here. He says, please don't say Ben Davis. I'd say Ben Davis is an excellent squad member. He's 10 years at the club. He's the longest-serving player at the club now.
Yeah.
And, he's not everybody's cup of tea. He's
more of a centre-back than a left-back because he's lost his pace for the Ange system.
Well, he plays centre back for Wales a lot of the time, but like he's a good player to have in the squad. I don't want him playing every week by any means, but good reliable pro to have there to keep the young fellas on track and whatever, you know. So, but again, you're right. His pace has gone a wee bit, but and he can't really play the Ange system. But a backup for the centre backs maybe. And Wayne Bonner saying Ben Davis again. And he'll be out of petition going out from Dermot Davies for fullback. No, I don't think so, Dermot. Wayne Bonner, Davies for manager. Wayne, what is your thinking behind that? I take it the laughter afterwards doesn't mean you're not too serious, you know. The Welsh Mafia still rules, I see. Well, Joe Roden's gone. So they've been reduced in the numbers.
Well, Joe Roden's gone, but with them fighting another Welshman, though, didn't we?
Brennan Johnson, I suppose, yeah.
I think he's been shocking this pre-season, though, Brennan.
I'm giving him a pass.
I'm giving him a pass.
He's young. He's young. I think his second season will be a lot better than his first, you know.
Yeah, well, we hope so.
We hope so, yeah. We hope so. And Wyra Sly saying, yeah, I agree. We look struggle without a number 9. It must be a priority. Yeah, we need to have a number 9 that can hold the ball up and wait for the midfielders to pile in on top of them. So, you know.
The only player I can think of in the spare shell what can do that is Kulu, really, but he's mainly an attacking midfielder. Yeah.
Wembley 1 is coming back, but didn't we sign Andy Booth for a few months? We did, yeah, back in I don't know, was it late 80s, early 90s, something around that. I can't remember. It was completely forgettable anyway. And Wyra Sly is saying either Tony or Solanke comes would help us, but not going to solve all our problems, in my opinion. Our wingers and Matters need to step up. Very disappointed with Madison in pre-season, and that's why I'm thinking that Bergvall may get the nod over him. I wouldn't pay a lot of attention to pre-season. Pre-season's more for getting fit and getting up to speed with after the summer break and whatever. They'll bed themselves in. I'm expecting whatever team starts against Bayern Munich on Saturday will be pretty close to what starts the following week. There's no point experimenting at this stage. Ange should know what his first 11 is and stick with it from this week on. So we'll see what happens there. I think that's all the chat. I think. Dermot, have you another SP? Have we any more? Here we go. Yeah, the bottom we didn't. You talk about Emerson Royale. It looks like the AC Milan have got fed up waiting for Tottenham to agree a fee with Emerson Royale, and they're now looking to strengthen their midfield and forward line. So that might be your cover for the left back still at the club if Emerson Royale stays on. Again, I'm not sure how left-footed he is either, but what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Emerson Royale? He's a very divisive player. Some love him, some hate him. Most hate him.
Like, I liked him because of what he did. He spent the money what the club was paying him and tried to invest it back into private coaching to try and get best. That's the main thing. That's how I see him as. Like, I don't see him as a great player. He's like below Ben Davies' level of squad player. That's what I see him as. Like, I feel like he'd be good for a more defensive team or an Italian team because he's got a lot of strength and he can actually trap back and make sure to keep the ball held down in the back line, unless he's playing centre back, in which he's been shocking in the friendlies because he let a goal in against Hearts by that. Yeah,
well, that was terrible. All right, really was.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. Again, he's under contract with us, so if he stays, he stays, and that's it. You know? And
when
don't
does the
forget,
contract expire? Is it
I'm not
next
sure.
season?
It's 1 or 2 years left on it now, you know. And just before we get on to the next comment about Oliver Skip there, hit the like button, lads, please. We need to get those like buttons hit and subscribe to the channel. We want to get up over the 1900 before the season starts. We're only about 15 or 20 people off it, I think, at this stage. So please hit the subscribe button and help this channel grow. Now, this is from Gimme Sport again. I think it's probably one of the more obvious transfers out of Tottenham. Southampton want to sign Oliver Skip. I heard Ipswich were probably interested in him as well. I think he'd be a suitable player for any of the promoted teams.
Yeah.
And that will probably happen.
Which will probably be the best for him, considering Ipswich have robbed quite a few players from the Championship as well. They robbed the Hull City youngster Jacob Greaves as a centre back. They took him for I think it was 15 or 20 million.
Right.
So I feel a Premier League proven lower table, mid-table player, I'd say Skip would be your man for it. But I don't see us selling him unless we promote one of the youngsters up to the senior squad to get with registration rules to actually get him registered so they've got at least the training quarters.
Yeah.
Or we bring Marcus Edwards back as well because of how
if an English player leaves, we definitely have to bring an English player in. But we still have other players that are on the fringe, like the Chelsea. What's going to happen to him? Is he going to go? Is he going to stay?
I don't think he's going anymore because I don't think I wouldn't want. I'd rather keep Lo Celso over getting Ramsey.
I think that Ramsey one has died down a good bit, hasn't it? There's no talk of it at all now.
Yeah. Everybody also seems to forget we do have another left back what's not talked about. Richarlison. He's still at the club.
Well, I think he has to go as well. I mean, he's been.
Yeah.
Ange didn't even bring him on the tour. So I mean, that shows you what he thought of him, you know. So
yeah, I'm surprised you haven't actually dumped him off yet, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, he's the type of player that will go at 9:30 on transfer deadline day. You know, on a loan deal or a full deal to a Spanish club or something like that. I did hear Seville were in for him, all right, and maybe Real. Of course, Brian Hill has gone to Girona on loan. So I think Regular will probably end up going back to Spain, you know. And,
I don't know why we keep sending him out on options to buy because we're not going to use him. He's not going to develop into the English game. Another player I'm annoyed what we've sent out on loan is to a Spanish side is Veliz. We bought him and he was dubbed the next Sergio Aguero of Argentina. But so why are we sending him out back to Spain when he didn't play last season in Spain? Why can't we just send him down to the Championship? Because I doubt any Championship team would be against taking that sort of youngster on their books.
I maybe think Spain might be a better suit for him for another season because maybe he's not tuned into the English game yet. And the Championship can be fairly rough and tumble, you know. So I think maybe that's why he's gone to Spain. But I do think he's one for the future. And don't forget, look at all the loans Harry Kane had before he came back and hit the ground running with Spurs. So, you know, I think Veliz is one for the future, as are a lot of these guys, you know. And it's just a case of we can't let them all sit around playing the odd game for the under-21s. They need regular football. He didn't get that in Spain last season, but that was down more to a political kind of war going on between the manager and the chairman of the club, as well as he got injured as well. So I think hopefully this season will be better for him, you know.
Yeah.
And then we've got. Oops, and so that's actually I didn't mean to put that one up. Yeah, that's Double Dome Gaming Channel. That's Tequila's gaming channel there. So Double Dome Gaming. I wonder where the name Double Dome came from. Can't think.
Maybe Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. That's where it is. Yeah. And this is the one. Chris Lomi again was surprised 2 in a row against Bayern. Should be better gauge this time around with backline back to normal. A good test given last week's showing. Like we had one of our regular back four playing that entire pre-season. So now hopefully we're going to have Porro, Van de Ven, Romero, and Udogie at the back four on maybe with the man, what do you call him? The Romanian guy whose name I always forget. Dragusin to come on. But we have got 3 excellent centre backs there. We really have. We're well served in the centre back routine. And
yeah, this is the thing I don't understand though. Everybody says play a back three because we have those three, but if one of them get injured, that formation just goes down the drain.
yeah, Ange doesn't play a back three. It's just
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Never will. Didn't work with Celtic. Didn't do it with Celtic. You're not going to do it with Tottenham.
That was he didn't even do it with Yokohama, with the Marinos in Australia.
That's true. And just while we mentioned Celtic, and I'm quite surprised at this. Matt O'Reilly, who's been a star for Celtic, I think he's a Danish international. Maybe that's one of the reasons they didn't take him. He was offered to Tottenham Hotspur via intermediaries. However, Spurs are not currently convinced over making a move for the Celtic star. Now, Ange Postecoglou loved that guy when he was at Celtic. So I'd love to know and I would love to see him playing for Tottenham. He's a real stylish midfielder. But there's obviously reasons why we're not going for him. I was talking to a Celtic season ticket holder the other day there, and he was scared lifeless that we were going to take Matt O'Reilly from them. He said, "You've already got a manager. That'll do you." So he's a huge.
I'm surprised we haven't taken. Is it Furuhashi, the Celtic striker? Kyogo.
Kyogo. The only thing you can think of, there is a huge difference between the Scottish Premiership and the champion.
Maybe that's why
the Premiership.
Done that with Matt O'Reilly too. Maybe.
Well, Matt O'Reilly came from, I think it was either MK Dons or Wycombe Wanderers. He went up to Celtic from them a few years ago, and he has done very well for them. And some players can go anywhere. I think he is one of them. Kyogo, I'd be a little bit worried, a little bit lightweight, maybe mightn't suit the Premiership. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe we just don't need that person in Matt O'Reilly's position. They're well enough served in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'll trust in Poch's judgment on that one.
Yeah, I think we need a number 6, and I think
number 6. Yeah, we can't rely on Basuma all the time.
8 or something.
Well, he's a more attacking midfielder, so yeah, he'd be more like an 8 than a 6.
We'll need that then, really, because we've got Kulu, Madison, Bergvall, even Archie Gray can play a bit more attacking.
Yeah. Well, Archie Gray seems he can play anywhere. I'd say he's probably the substitute goalkeeper if we don't have a goalkeeper on the bench.
I won't be surprised.
He's that versatile. And there's the Full-Time Sports Network. That's our sister channel, which is a brilliant channel to go over and have a look at. They do lots of different sports and well worth a visit. And Tequila, again, this is the Play Pouch Gaming Podcast. There you go. If you're into gaming, which I'm not, I'm afraid, but I'm sure lots of people are. And this is regular with a small club last season on loan. Hopefully get a bigger loan this year. I don't think Man United and Brentford, would class themselves as small clubs, but anyway, that's where he was.
Well, Tony would, considering he's not wanting to sign a new contract with them.
Yeah. And this is we at Tottenham TV saying the currently have 29 squad players. We need 6 sales before signing somebody. Kind of worrying. Well, I mean, you can always drop players out of the squad, I suppose, if you don't think they're going to play. But it is worrying, and we have 2 weeks to go. And just when you mentioned we are Tottenham TV, and this is not on the schedule. We're going to see if I can bring it up here now. I'm not sure if I still have it. We are Tottenham TV named their best ever Tottenham 11 there recently. And I thought I had it on. Let me see, can I get it here now? I was looking at it before we came on, but now it's gone missing on me. Hold on. 1 sec.
There is something crazy what's apparently just come out, not related to Spurs, but Bayern Munich have decided to sell a certain left back.
Oh.
Alphonso Davies, they've decided to put him up for sale.
Alphonso Davies? Oh, I'd take him. He's good.
Hoping for 50 million euros, but a deal could eventually be done for around 30 million.
Yeah, he's good.
Of course, we aren't going for somebody like him.
But he's a Canadian. He's a Canadian international, so he doesn't solve the.
Yeah, but if we got rid of Richarlison and brought him in.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Anyway, I have the best ever Tottenham team here. This is according to we are Tottenham TV. It's called the Chat GBT, whoever they are. In goal, Hugo Lloris. Fullbacks, Kyle Walker and Danny Rose. Now this is the best. Sorry, I should emphasize the best Premier League 11, not overall, just Premier League.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, so Kyle Walker and Danny Rose are the fullbacks. Toby Alderweireld and Ledley King are the centre backs. In midfield, in defensive midfield, Moussa Dembele and Luka Modric. Gareth Bale, Christian Eriksen, and Son Heung-min, and Harry Kane is the striker. I have to say, I can't disagree with that. I think that's a pretty representative best 11 for Tottenham. Now there are people that will say there should be certain other players in there. But
I'm surprised Ali isn't in there, to be honest. Delhi.
Yeah, and Jan Vertonghen is
I think if Delhi didn't have his issues and stuff like that and was still with us, I feel like, and didn't have his massive drop off with Mourinho, I feel like he would have taken that spot over Eriksen in that.
Well, that's true. But then again, it's hard to get into a midfield of Gareth Bale, Christian Eriksen, and Son Heung-min. You think about it, true. They're some class act there. I mean, to me, I know Harry Kane is the goal scorer supreme, but for me, the best Tottenham player of the Premier League area was Gareth Bale.
Yeah,
I think he was absolutely superb. Again, that's a controversial choice, maybe, but just my own personal one. And there's Tequila's European Network, and this is Boris. This will be your little baby now for a while. Once you get going, Boris will be looking after this channel. We'll be doing all the European leagues on it, so you can copy and paste that and go into it whenever there's a show on. And right, just going to go. There's another before we just going to round up now. There's a few more things that we probably didn't discuss earlier that Dermot hadn't done. Oh, there we are. Sorry, one more thing. Yeah, this is for Saturday. Tottenham have confirmed that former players Harry Kane and Eric Dyer will be presented with commemorative gifts by club ambassador Ledley King. I think it's happening before the match. Yeah. So that might lead Harry Kane might actually be playing. Eric Dyer might actually be playing. And I hope Harry gets the reception he deserves, because I was lucky enough to be at the Shakhtar Donetsk friendly last season. That was his last game, but no one knew at that stage. It was all up in the air. But when the final whistle went, after the Spurs players had done the usual thank you to the crowd, they all walked off and they let Harry on the pitch on his own. He walked around the whole pitch doing that to the fans. We knew then that was it. But he scored 4 goals in that match. Some way to go, So anyway, that's. I hope he gets the reception he deserves, because he is a Spurs legend. And I hope then we hammer Bayern Munich in the match afterwards. But anyway, this is what we mentioned earlier about Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore, who was a revelation on that tour of Asia, he turned 17 on Sunday. And at that stage, he can sign his first professional contract, a full professional contract. So he's going to sign a lucrative 3-year deal with a further 2-year option, which will tie him at the club for 5 years, hopefully. And he'll be one of the highest paid teenagers in the game. They are going to push the boat out to this guy. They're not going to offer him meager wages and hope he's satisfied with them. They know there'll be other clubs knocking on this guy's door very, very soon. So they're going to tie him down with good wages.
But Dortmund, Man United, Chelsea, all both have been knocking on the door for him anyways.
Yeah, so I mean that's one good thing that we need to tie talent like that down, not let them pay them buttons. Like I did hear that the young lad that played for Spain, the 16-year-old,
Lamel,
yeah. His current contract now in Barcelona is earning 25 grand a week. As soon as he turns 17, that's going to jump up maybe 10 times a week. He'll be on huge money. So you have to pay these young guys, or else they'll move on somewhere else. But Mikey Moore is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the bench in the first game as well. He's certainly going to be around the squad. Now this one, I'm not sure if I mentioned this one earlier, but Daniel Farke, the Leeds manager, has praised Spurs for the transfer deal in tying up young talent. He said, like, every decent club in Europe was after Archie Gray. He chose Tottenham. Bergvall, Barcelona were after him. He came to Tottenham. So he's praised Spurs transfer dealings for young talent, which is nice to hear other managers. I'd say there was a bit of sour grapes there. We actually took one of his best players off him, but he was always going to go somewhere, And again, we mentioned this during the program, Spurs have a clean bill of health for the opener. Look, hopefully, there's nobody injured, and nobody gets injured on Saturday against Bayern Munich, which I'm sure I would have actually gone to that match if it had been any time but a 5 kickoff. It's just too late to get a flight home after it. But the last friendly I was at, let's say the Shakhtar Donetsk one, was memorable. It really was. It was great. And this one again we've already discussed. Is Manor Solomon to go on loan? Unconfirmed reports that he will be going out. The team has not been mentioned yet, but the guy's only played friendlies since last. He was injured during the Liverpool game last September and hasn't played a competitive match since. So I think that's him now for this season. It's not a lot. It's just a loan. He'll be back. He definitely will. So right. So let's go through the rest of the chat before we finish up. And here's Tequila giving his interpretation of who Dumb and Dumber are. Colum and Dermo are the double dumb ones. There you go, Tequila. So, and it's also saying, Philip, my gaming channel I do with Colum. All right, Colum and Tequila. Sorry, Colum and Dermot are doing the gaming channel. And this is Colum saying, Philip, my gaming channel I do with Colum. Same again, different heading. Tequila saying, let's grab him. Who?
I think that's in reference to Davies.
Davies, right, okay. Trade him for Davies. Might be a slight upgrade on Davies. Nice to see Leathers there. Our Ledley King does a lot of work for the club. He really does, you know. And Killian Kenny saying, big up, Godfather. Hi, Killian, how are you? Thanks for the message there. And Tequila saying, Modric for me, best. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, you got to pick somebody. Modric would be very, very close to that. Really, really good player. And is it going to be a bomb for Dyer? I have to admit, when Eric Dyer went to Bayern Munich, I couldn't figure it out. What are they doing signing Eric Dyer? You know, I came to the conclusion.
You have to look at the manager, but it's too cool. Well, no, it's company now, isn't it?
It's company now, but I came to the conclusion he was going out there to walk out Harry Kane's dogs. But he ended up playing for Bayern Munich, so you know, good luck to him. And Killian Kenny saying Tequila, and Chris Lomi saying the 2-year extra comes in to play when he's 18. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I mean, at least we have him for 3 years anyway. And imagine the guy's not even 17 yet. Did Spurs pay a fee for Solomon? Best of my knowledge, no. Shakhtar Donetsk were not a bit happy about it either. But you know, I can understand. I mean, the situation they found themselves in, playing away from home. Solomon's contract was up, and we took him on a free. We took him on an end of contract basis. So they were fighting Tottenham to pay them something or give them a sell-on percentage, but I don't think that ever came to anything. So
no, that was why we played them in the Shakhtar Donetsk friendly, is to give them the money from the ticket sales, all the money and the concessions, all of that sort of stuff. What was bought by the fans all went to Shakhtar Donetsk, so that was probably like $1 million or something.
I don't think that was enough for them, because I think that since that they've been raising the fact that the claiming Spurs have shortchanged them a bit on Solomon. But I suppose there's nothing wrong. The guy was out of contract, you know. I think they were more looking for an ex gratia payment, sort of a goodwill gesture. But I don't think Daniel Levy's too good at goodwill gestures now, to be honest. And Tequila saying, don't believe so, Gerard O'Connor. And I subscribed. Oh, good man. Thanks, Killian. And Tequila's also saying Harry needed a new PA. yeah, maybe a babysitter, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I think that is all the Tottenham news that we have for you tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. And just to finalize the thing about Solomon, this is very good from Chris. Solomon deal was sanctioned by UEFA. So that's it. There you go. That's it. It's all legal and above board. And Tequila saying, thank you, Killian Kenny. Very grateful. So that is all that we have. We're back tomorrow night, I think at 9 o'clock. There'll be Dermot will be back on action and full swing that night with myself and Tequila and Boris. We'll be doing the podcast, the Cockerel Clock podcast. We will no doubt put up the menu, if you like, one of a better word, tomorrow. But that's on at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and then it'll be on all the various platforms after that, so you can have a listen back to it. So all I can say is, Boris, thanks a million for the show tonight. Really enjoyed it.
No worries, man. Me too. Good
stuff. And thanks to Dermot for doing the background stuff. And I was half expecting him to pop in there for a minute, but he didn't. So anyway, Dermot, we'll see you tomorrow. And if you just bear with me now, I am going to hopefully get the outro right, because there's that many of them here. I'm just going to do a quick outro. And with that, come on, you Spurs, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.